Hey everyone! Welcome to my channel Tech in Resham. Today, we're going to dive into the world of Pi-hole, a network-level internet tracker and blocker application. Picture this. It's like a DNS sinkhole that blocks all those pesky ads and domain names. You can even use it as a DHCP server, but we're not doing that here. Instead, we're going to use Unbound DNS, a private recursive and caching DNS resolver. It's like what Google and others do, but it's all self-hosted. For some folks, a single Pi-hole instance is all they need. Just point your DHCP or device DNS to that IP holes address, and voila! All those ads and blocked domains are gone. But if you need more performance and high availability, you can set up multiple Pi-holes. We'll be using Nebula and Keepalived to make sure everything runs smoothly, especially if you want to have at least one Pi-hole in separate hardware like a Raspberry Pi. But for the sake of demonstration, we'll be setting up Pi-hole Proxmox virtual server LXC containers. The first Pi-hole will have an IP address of 101030.120, the second one will be 101030.121, and the third one will be 101030.122. These Pi-holes will be running the default installation, nothing fancy yet. Stay tuned for more updates on this exciting project. Let's get started with setting up Unbound on all three Pi-holes. First, we'll install it on each one. Just open the shell of each Pi-hole or SSH into them and run sudo apt install unbound to install it. Next, we'll create an Unbound configuration file. Open the file etc. unbound.conf in nano and copy the code. Then, paste it on all three Pi-holes in the designated locations. One thing we'll change is to mark IPv6 as no, since my network doesn't use it. Now, go to each Pi-hole's web interface and navigate to the DNS section. Add the Unbound recursive DNS to 127.0.0/5353 as a custom DNS. After updating on all three, restart them. We'll also set up permanent passwords for all three Pi-holes. In the terminal of each Pi-hole, use the command pinhole set password to set the password. Next, we'll spin up the Nebula Docker container. Copy the code from the website and make the necessary changes to the primary Pi-hole's IP address, passwords, and the IP addresses and passwords of the second and third Pi-holes. Also, change the cron to run by changing from the first 0 to asterisk and running in your Docker environment. It's crucial to make changes to the primary Pi-hole, otherwise Nebula won't sync from the second or third Pi-hole to the primary Pi-hole. Let's add Google Video and YouTube domain blocked lists in the domain management section. Wait for a minute and then go to the second and third Pi-holes Google Video and YouTube domain lists automatically. This also applies to internal DNS records. I logged into my Ubuntu desktop, which is on the same network, and we could see that Google Video and YouTube were blocked. We could also see this in our Pi-holes. For some users, this is enough since their root or DHCP server allows 2 or more DNS entries. You can enter all three Pi-hole IP addresses. But for others, they can only enter 2, primary and secondary DNS providers. That's where the Keepalived high availability tool comes in handy. We'll install it on the second and third Pi-hole by running sudo apt install Keepalived y. Next, we need to know the network name. Just run IP to find it. In my case, it's eth0. Copy the code from the website and trim it down as shown in the screenshot. One is marked as master, and its master is this Pi-hole device's IP address. The peer IP address is the corresponding Pi-hole IP address. We need an unused IP address that will be a virtual IP address. When we need to communicate with the second and third Pi-hole, we don't use their real IP addresses. Instead, we use the virtual IP address. Let's start pinging the virtual IP address and shut down the master, second Pi-hole. We have one connection drop. Doing a backup, third Pi-hole, it's promoted to master now. On the master, second Pi, we roll back to their roles. The second Pi becomes master, and the third Pi becomes backup. Finally, go to the router or DHCP server and enter the real IP address of the first Pi-hole and the virtual IP address on the second DNS entries. Thanks for watching the video. If you found it helpful, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. If you have any questions or want to learn more, feel free to leave a comment. Thanks a bunch.